Hi, and welcome back to End Times Prophecy News Update, Carrie Geren Scoggins webcast audio version. Today I am practicing my legal right to debate the issues and our legal right to debate other religions as upheld in the Phelps ruling, where the federal Supreme Court overturned the hate speech law over a decade ago, upholding our legal right to debate Islam, homosexuality, abortion, and any issue from a biblical viewpoint, and our legal right to debate other religions. Also invoking the public figure law, our legal right to debate public figures and their teachings, combining these two federal Supreme Court rulings together. I would like to start on the issue of the New Age movement in America, how it mirrors that of pre-Nazi Germany, teaching such as spiritual evolution, and that we see David Wilcock, Beth Leon, who became Elizabeth Wilcock, and now they are divorced, but there was a video called Ascension, the teaching that they're going to ascend into a god, a takeoff of old Hindu beliefs that which was permeating the culture in pre-Nazi Germany in Theosophy, Helena Blavatsky, and Savitri Devi, the author of The Lightning and the Sun. The bit of Hinduism that teaches a spirit starts out as a lower life form, and through the process of transmigration, evolving up each time the spirit's life form dies, reincarnates, and comes back up as a higher life form, constantly going through this evolution of reincarnation, moving upward through the species, eventually evolving higher into a human, and then into a god. The racist tenet that's found in Hinduism that created their caste system, and that which those in Nazi Germany sucked up like a sponge, as it seemed to justify their racist beliefs and help them legitimize their evil movement, that they felt the Caucasian race was higher evolved than other races. We saw Charles Darwin make this statement in his book, The Descent of Man, where he states that the Caucasian race is the highest evolved race, and a little later states that the higher evolved races will eventually annihilate the lesser evolved races. The racist statements by Charles Darwin have been left out of our curriculum in our public schools, and again, to justify keeping this teaching alive. As one can see, evolution was part of a religion. It was not science-based. It was a grasp at justifying their religious tenets and trying to use science to back it up, where we see in America there's Christian apologetics and people attempting to use science to back up their biblical beliefs. In Nazi Germany, they were using scientific ideologies to try to back up their beliefs in bits and pieces of other religions combined into a New Age movement, and part of that was spiritual evolution, a tenet taken from Hinduism. Again, that which we saw in the caste system, where in India they believe that they can tell even by an individual's last name how highly evolved they are and how many life cycles of evolution and reincarnation that they've been through. It is so integrated into their governmental system. They have a theocracy, a Hindu theocracy. And that's what it was turning into in Nazi Germany, just prior to Hitler converting into Islam. By his issuing of the book Mein Kampf, he was already referring to God as Allah, and had submitted to a Muslim mufti or imam, Haj Amin al-Husseini. But prior to that, when he was in the Thule Society and other groups, he was deeply into the New Age movement. And they even called Savitri Devi Hitler's priestess. We see this same teaching today in Elizabeth Wilcock's spiritual evolution teachings, and that which came from David Wilcock. And, of course, this new Ascension video he has out. He is again teaching that, and they've said publicly many times they believe in spiritual evolution. It's been posted on their social media sites. It's been in their videos. And they've even said publicly that they feel they're close to ascension. They think they're going to become a god in this lifetime. Corey Goode, former partner of David Wilcock, stated that he was not a Hindu guru. And I hope for his sake that he stays sticking to that public statement, because many will scrutinize their teachings. When they get 6 million views on this type of teaching, noting where it came from and where it originated from and what it can create in society, one needs to keep their eyes open. This is a red flag of false religion and a false prophet and false prophetess. I don't care to put them up for public debate. It is my legal right to do so. Like I said, when they overturned the hate speech law and the Phelps ruling, of course, they upheld our legal right to debate Islam, homosexuality, abortion, and any issue from a biblical viewpoint, but also our legal right to debate other religions. So it is no longer a hate crime because the hate speech law was overturned in the Phelps ruling. And the public figure law, our legal right to scrutinize public figures, where they cannot turn around and sue us for slander. These federal Supreme Court rulings force the would-be New Age establishment and those in our government that would love to censor out anyone speaking against their New Age religious tenets to recognize that it's freedom straight across the board for Christians too, not just for the liberals in the New Age movement. I digress. This cannot be censored off videos without a lawsuit, because I've dare put up their false prophet and false prophetess up for scrutiny. We see many videos out online just delving into Christian ministers, digging up things that they've said, accusing them of being false teachers. And you see nothing out of the ACLU and the liberals. And yet, if you dare put up one of theirs for scrutiny, you get that hashtag double standard politics. There's not going to be a double standard here. Where they've ripped the Christians apart, we're going to start taking their belief systems, breaking it down for the public to see, and digging up their roots. I have cited my sources in previous videos on items like this, and to keep it simple, of course, there's counter-cult ministries in the Christian bookstores where one can order books, but I really like an old video put out by Jeremiah Films. One is referred to as Invasion of the God Men, but Jeremiah Films' video, Gods of the New Age, which is still out on YouTube. And one of Jeremiah Films' videos entitled The Evolution Conspiracy, which in the beginning of this video, he mentioned spiritual evolution teachings of Nazi Germany. And of course, it's debunking evolution as science and noting where the teaching of evolution originated. Citing my sources, there are many books and articles out on this topic any well-read individual should know, and that which Darwin himself published, such as The Descent of Man, making racist statements that the Caucasian race was the highest evolved race. And of course, many remember that the all-gay Nazi brown shirts in Nazi Germany that went house to house search and seizure to take up the Bibles and Torahs to enforce the Nazi Good Speak law, which censored any literature that spoke against homosexuality. It was brought into being by the gay identity movement of Nazi Germany, hence creating the Bible burnings that were so infamous. If they didn't cough up their Bible or Torah when the all-gay Nazi brown shirts gets to their door, they were arrested. They had arrested so many of them, they had no place to house them, which was the subsequent concentration camps to house the 11 million people arrested for religious censorship. on the homosexual debate. This was brought up in the federal Supreme Court in the Phelps ruling as to why the federal Supreme Court overturned the hate speech law in the United States. Apparently, this fact seems to raise eyebrows from the Democrats, that they just cannot accept this is historical fact, and that they have believed liberal lies from a Democrat media that has censored these facts out, and how it's been censored out of their school curriculum by the Democrat teachers' unions. When they get into college, they will be confronted with these types of facts. This is college level. This is not high school. This isn't a high school civics course. I digress yet again. I would like to add that when the Bibles and Torahs were taken up, enforcing the Nazi good speak law, censoring any literature that spoke against homosexuality or painted it in a negative light, the all-gay Nazi brown shirts were ordered to give out books picked by Adolf Hitler himself. Karl Marx's Das Kapital, that phrase that the Democrats have often used, redistribution of the wealth, originated from this book, Das Kapital by Karl Marx, Marxism. And the other book, required to be given to every German citizen, was Charles Darwin's The Descent of Man, the one quoting the racist statements I've said previous in this video, trying to justify the false teaching that the Caucasians were the highest evolved race. And again, this originated out of their belief in spiritual evolution in Nazi Germany's New Age movement. Theosophy and Savitri Devi, author of The Lightning in the Sun, the one referred to as Hitler's priestess. We see this teaching permeating the New Age movement in the United States. And since I am a theological database, I would be the very best person to debate this. Not just having been to seminary, but spent a life studying religion. Again, this is End Times Prophecy News Update, Carrie Geren Scoggins, and this is my intellectual property. If anybody wants to use any of my intellectual property that has been put out online, they have to cite me as their source and invite me onto their show. As we've caught someone illegally censoring my webcast offline and selling my intellectual property off as public property or as their own intellectual property. Noting that the Federal Supreme Court ruled the moment that I put it up online, it is now officially published and copyrighted under my name. And secondly, that law enforcement cannot use other people's intellectual property because it does not belong to them, even if it did not have a copyright. This is End Times Prophecy News Update, Carrie Geren Scoggins webcast, practicing my legal right to put other religions and religious leaders up for debate, just as they have those in Christianity.
Thanks for tuning in.